Why you playing like that? Like, who is you? What you did? Who you shot? Who you rolled? Who you nobody? You ain't got nobody. What the who is you? You lad, dude.
Alert tonight, terrifying moments for people on Clark Street in Mobile as they wake up to gunfire in the middle of the night.
NBC 15's Andrea Ramey obtained the surveillance footage there that captured the sound of those shots. Andrea, you've learned this shooting may be connected to Mobile rapper HoneyKomb Brazy.
Come to my boy. Come to my boy. Down your knees. What happened?
News 5 investigates new charges against Mobile rapper HoneyKomb Brazy.
What up, gang? Back with the real. You know what's the deal. In today's climate, there's no being a rapper and still acting like you in the hood, proving how gangster you are. HoneyKomb Brazy is learning this the hard way after he crossed the wrong people and his family's being wiped off the map until they get to him. Now, fear and pride has pushed him to violate his probation, which has cost the rapper a hefty price, his freedom. On May 2nd, 2021, Alabama native Nashawn Jones, known to the hip-hop community and the streets as HoneyKomb Brazy, was just hours away from performing at a concert in Dothan before being surrounded by cops as he was in the whip with a female companion. A woman recording would accuse someone of snitching on his location, but officers revealed that HoneyKomb Brazy made it very easy when he sold his own self out by posting his location on Facebook, something that would also come back to haunt him in another situation later on.
He got warrants and I guess they've been following him. So somebody with him is a snitch. How y'all know where he was over here? Post stuff on Facebook. Posting locations on Facebook.
He doesn't have a problem posting some of his activities that he's involved in.
His arrest came as new charges were added to his already extensive rap sheet, the one in focus being violating probation and gun charges. This violation stemmed from a 2016 conviction on charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm. HoneyKomb Brazy was sentenced to 15 years behind bars for the conviction, but got a lucky break when he was released on probation in November 2020 after serving 18 months of his sentence, with the condition that he must stay away from illegal substances, guns, and certain people or habits. Unfortunately, HoneyKomb Brazy couldn't fight off the urge of his ways, and just 5 days after being released on probation, the Alabama rapper was already in a shootout in the street when a car pulled up and opened fire. It turned into a battlefield right then and there in broad daylight as HoneyKomb Brazy captured the attack on his life while on live.
He was arrested back in 2016 for gun charges. As part of his probation, he cannot be around drugs, guns, certain people, and habits. Court documents detail the violations, including his connection to a shooting. Video of that incident was posted to social media. This reportedly happened 5 days after Jones was released from prison.
The shooting also left HoneyKomb Brazy fighting for his life in a coma, but the judge didn't seem to care whether he was the one that got hit up. He wasn't even the one holding the weapon, but his mans being the ones returning fire to protect themselves. At this point, the law was fed up with HoneyKomb Brazy, and they had the evidence to back up why his probation should be revoked, and he finished his remaining 13 and a half years locked back away. The evidence was damning, to be honest, and while I can see HoneyKomb Brazy being the man down, his lifestyle and behavior definitely plays a part. Prosecutors will begin piling up accusations to throw the rapper back in jail. Firstly, HoneyKomb Brazy missed multiple check-ins with his probation officer, Jay Taylor. Testimony by Taylor confirmed that when HoneyKomb Brazy was released in November, he did not report for probation until February 2021. Not only that, but HoneyKomb Brazy ghosted right after again and never went back. Jeff Dean, HoneyKomb Brazy's defense lawyer, stated that his client missed reporting in because he was in fear of his life after witnessing the hit on his grandparents in February. Tony and Layla Lewis were shot up and burned in retaliation for HoneyKomb Brazy angering the wrong people. A video surfaced showing the horrific scene with his grandparents' house engulfed in a ball of flames. But it ain't stopped there. Before HoneyKomb Brazy could even have time to fully mourn the loss of his grandparents, his ops turned their attention to his mother, Tanisha Jones. His mom would be the target of constant attempts on her life as her home was shot up, not once, not twice, but 4 times in a row.
And how many times do you think your home has been shot at?
For sure, I know it's 3, but now I know it's 4 times.
Even with all this, prosecutors wasn't buying into HoneyKomb Brazy suffering from fear tactics by his ops. They presented further evidence that he violated his probation by having guns and supported their claim by playing numerous music videos showing him with various guns. HoneyKomb Brazy's defense pushed back, claiming that there is no proof the guns were real and that they are props for the visual effect of the video as per the disclaimer listed on the music video. They went as far as getting testimonies from both HoneyKomb Brazy's stepmother, who handles his business affairs, and Rashad McCall, whose company has produced most of the music videos. On record, both confirmed the guns are fake props, as well as any money that appear in those productions. McCall backed up their claims with receipts, standing on him being the one that ordered them, stating that due to his insurance company, no real firearms can be used on set. HoneyKomb Brazy's defense was moving like clockwork, but given the situation and who they were trying to paint a clean image of, it was inevitable to come to one ending conclusion, and the next set of presented evidence by prosecutors sealed HoneyKomb Brazy's fate. Firstly, by conditions of his probation release, HoneyKomb Brazy was confined to remaining within Alabama. But prosecutors were thorough with their investigation. They presented evidence showing that Jones, aka HoneyKomb Brazy, was living in Texas and also spent time in Georgia. That's an automatic red card in the judge's eyes, and the prosecutors knew it. Now, you might be asking, why didn't he go the route of paying the fee to transfer his probation to Texas? Well, turns out he did, but his request was denied. This was confirmed by his probation officer. Things was looking like a done deal for prosecutors, but they held back their ace in the hole. Footage of HoneyKomb Brazy in the shootout showed earlier that almost took his life. In the original clip, you couldn't really tell HoneyKomb Brazy was even there, but his habit of putting things online worked against him. Right before the attempted hit on his life occurred, HoneyKomb Brazy was on live where the entire thing was captured. That vid, along with another showing the aftermath of the shootout, will place him at the scene.
Music videos. She says that the weapons were absolutely props, and a man whose company shot most of the music videos also testified they were props. The probation officer testified about a shooting that occurred in Montgomery in November of last year. A video played in court shows Jones with 3 people armed with semi-automatic handguns with extended magazines, but Jones himself was not armed in the video.
Prosecutors would also expose 15 video clips showing him with guns online.
And shot his parents, his grandparents, and set that home on fire. They're cowards.
Police are not ruling out that their deaths are related to HoneyKomb Brazy.
Adding insult to injury, there also existed evidence of HoneyKomb Brazy personally admitting to his probation officer when he finally reported in on February 2021 that he was using illegal substances. With all this evidence piled up against the Alabama rapper, there was little at the time that his defense could really do. They tried their very best to block the motion to have his probation revoked and sent back to serve 13.5 years. The prosecutors seem to have been doing due diligence and watching HoneyKomb Brazy's every move since he was granted probation release in November 2020.
And Mobile police say that he has been the subject of investigations in several different cities across the Southeast, including Mobile, Atlanta, Houston, and Birmingham.
The judge was on their side and also found his actions to be in violation of the leniency they extended to him and ruled for his remaining 13.5 years to be spent back behind bars. His defense lawyer, Jeff Dean, hasn't yet given up on him, stating that while he understands the judge's decision, HoneyKomb Brazy's creativity influences and inspires others in his social circle, and they plan on appealing the judge's decision. It's just a lose-lose situation for HoneyKomb Brazy on all ends. You remain a free man and your life is targeted. You defend yourself or try to get away, and you violate your probation and go back to prison where your ops has reached and can get to you with nowhere to run. Lost his grandparents, nearly lost his mother after multiple attempts on her life, and who knows how many other relatives are living in fear. This is one of the most extreme cases we've seen of rappers getting hit up by their ops. It definitely goes deeper than just music, and may be due to an irreversible action that HoneyKomb Brazy did to someone that doesn't tolerate disrespect.
He has certainly placed himself in the spotlight, and he has probably done some things that has caused other people to be have a reason to maybe to attack or maybe harm him.
With his high-profile life, he can't hide. Should have just left the streets behind and focused on music, but the cycle continues to repeat. It's sad what he has to go through, but he's put himself out there as a true savage and gangster, so this what comes with that territory. It's gonna be one hell of a long road ahead for HoneyKomb Brazy if he can even survive it behind bars with enemies. May his grandparents rest in peace and his mom stay safe. Until the next one where we chop it up and break it down, be good, y'all. I'm out.